This meeting is being recorded.
Right, Mike. Da, 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 da. How's things?
All right. Shifting between feeling on top of the world and complete overwhelm.
That's a great way to start that one and click record in a minute because that's the fucking epitome of entrepreneurship.
Mm.
1 minute you're feeling fucking mint, and the next minute you feel on floor and dealing with the emotional roller coaster of what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday I was like, how am I going to make this work? This morning I'm like calm and it's just happening. So, yeah,
Yeah,
contrast.
it's a bit of it's a roller coaster, bro. But we're gonna get to a bottom of a few things on it. So let me just sort my screen out and I'll click record. Da, 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 da. Right then, let's rock and roll. So we've got Big Matt in this morning. I'm actually excited for this one because it's a little bit of a different type of call to some of the other ones that I've done. If you follow me on YouTube and Instagram, you'll know that I love anything to do with start and scale businesses. And Matt's just basically just talking about how I feel, and he said that I feel on top of the world 1 minute, and then I feel like I'm down in the floor the other. And I was like, well, the shit news is that that doesn't actually ever change. I go through that same process now, so it's like I've built what I've built, but then I was like, oh my God, I need to update this personal brand SS, which you'll be the first person I'll show today. And then next thing you know, I'm here until 8:30 last night, and my eyes are baggy down here. And I woke up this morning, and I'm ready to rock and roll again. And I think a big part of the process is riding those waves. And Matt's basically at a point where he is at the complete start and scale point. So completely new brand, completely new concept. MVP is now launching out. We're not in a position at the moment where we're actually starting to build much on the personal brand side, which is going to be a big talking point today. So very different to a lot of the calls that I will be doing because it's start and scale. But what I always say to people is I love the start and scale phase of business. Like where I am in business now is fun. It is. But you literally just you serve the same problems all the time. I need more traffic. That is it. That's pretty much all of my conversations that we do is a case of we need more traffic. Where's that going to come from? Social media, ads. But obviously I do a lot on like developing the offer and I do keep it interesting, but it is quite a lot of the same stuff. So Matt, do you just want to introduce yourself, bro? Where you from? What do you do? What's your offer? Where you're at? Just you know me, bro, like anything goes, say what you want to say.
Okay. Do you want a little bit of history as well, just briefly?
Yeah, go for it. Just tell the story. What's got you from then to now?
Okay. So, come out of uni, straight into construction, and then basically spent 30 years in construction, climbing the corporate ladder, 17 of them years at director level, different countries, different companies. Good jobs, good salary, super stressful. Was pretty good at it, but get to the point where I felt I wasn't being fulfilled by that role. So then worked quite hard to think about what am I going to do different to create that fulfillment. So then what I did, thought about some different training options, trained as an acupuncturist, I've trained as a breathwork coach, a Reiki healer, and opened a clinic 2 years ago, a year ago, sorry. And it's good, really fulfilling. Um, it's a great feeling seeing clients healing, recovering, whatever it happens to be. But I found that the income shift was massive and made the change quite difficult for obvious reasons. So then I was thinking about what am I going to do about this? I've got to take responsibility for the decision I've made. How will I make the change work for me? So I did some online stuff about learning how to create social media posts, and through that, I came across you. Um, and I watched one of your videos, and literally I was like, I get this guy totally. Like he's literally talking and thinking how I feel I think, if that makes sense. And I literally made the discovery call that day and spoke to Ben Mahmood and was on board by the end of that day. Um, and that was a few months ago now. And so now myself and my wife are putting together, we've put together a company now, Seven Rivers Wellness. And we are working towards offering a 12-week program with one-to-one consultation, loads of video content across 7 different modalities that includes acupressure, reflexology, movement with yoga and so on, a lot of breath work too. So we're working hard to launch that in May. And prior to that, we just launched our social media account this week, and we're pushing towards a mid-February launch of a free product and a relatively low ticket MVP sort of 7-day reset program.
Yep.
So that's where we are.
So the first thing I'll point out there is look at the fucking effort that's gone into the concept of it. The concept and the name, and then leads into the actual pillars of what the program is, what's going to be covered and everything else. And that's where you need to start, right? So that's what I love about like Matt and his wife is like they actually genuinely care about what they are delivering. I recently invested into breathwork with one of my friends, Jordan, and it has literally been life-changing for me. I look forward to every session that I do. Like I am so pro everything on the wellness front, especially as I've got older towards 30, and I can definitely feel have a little bit more emotional presence for myself as well. But like basically what they're doing is solving a really big problem, right? And then we're now in that obviously point where you've got a brand, you've got a company, and then we've got an MVP. So for the people who don't know what an MVP is, this is what I push them into. So it's a minimum viable product. So what you don't want to do is wait around for months and months and months before you've got something to test it in the market. The sooner that you've got free shit going out there, or the sooner that you've got something at a low ticket product, the sooner that you can actually get audience and market feedback and then adopt and evolve. So what I'll basically do now is I'll just show you a little bit of an overview to what's going off on where have you gone on Matt's front at the moment, right? So we've basically got why can't I? There we are. Let me just extend you out so I can see you. Sweet. We've basically got this one. So this is basically the company page. So as you can literally see, this is a straight up start and scale page. We've got an easy, simple application process that's going there. Love the concept of the logo because it's like a river concept as well. And then we've basically got Matt here, right? So if you've watched any of the previous lives, we'll basically see here that this is moving well. It's nice and it's on brand. But the big point the biggest update I'm doing in a long time is coming in today, which is going to be the personal brand SS, which I am very excited to get people through because in the market in 2026, so the beauty of AI is basically enabled Matt, because like what I love about Matt as well is actually understood the AI part and understood where like, oh my God, this can do fucking mad shit for me. So the type of stuff that he's done in a few month period, right, would have potentially taken someone 12 months before. An easy example of this is I've got an appointment setting client at the moment. I rebuilt her entire info course product, like 7 to 10 modules, done with view service, everything within 35 minutes the other day. So when it comes to having an idea and having an offer and building that offer, right, it's fucking easy. You just need to know how to use AI properly. And once you've got AI, you can put some stuff out there. But the biggest hurdles that we're basically going to be facing at the moment is the fact that obviously Matt and his wife have, I'll do too now, if you don't mind saying.
Oh, it was 54 last week before. Yeah.
54, right? So I feel a little bit out of touch with social media, and I'm 31. Right, so imagine for someone who's above 50 looking at social media and personal branding and all that type of stuff, it's the first hurdle that you have to kind of overcome. And also in the market in 2026. So someone said this to me the other day. They said, like, why do you promote building a personal brand, but then you promote building AI, which replaces personal brands? And I was like, no. I use AI for building offers and building frameworks and building scripts and support. But your personal brand in 2026, because of people using AI incorrectly, is going to stand out on a fucking level, on a level that has never been known before. I was sat in a meeting with Daniel Priestley 18 months ago, not a meeting, at a meal, and I was sat next to him and I said, right, if you're going to go all in on 2 areas, where would you go? And he turned around and said, I put every single penny that I've got into artificial intelligence and building a personal brand. So that has basically led to this absolute monumental update that I'm bringing in today for everyone, which is going to be on a huge homework, and this is going to be a step-by-step process of building a personal brand, shaping a personal brand identity, easy production, hip scrubs, like you name it. We've got absolutely every single thing covered in there, which I just need to try and get loaded in an hour before the call at 1 p.m, which I'm going to try and do. right? The reason that I'm talking about this is the personal branding element from the forward-facing part is without question the biggest Achilles heel at the moment, right? And then for Matt, the first Achilles and bump that he's going to have to overcome is going to be how do I actually get comfortable with posting on social media? Because when you like, for me, I've probably only just got in touch with content probably in the last 2 years, but before that, I were all over the place. So for Matt, it's going to be a big hurdle because in reality, the amount of people that is going to come through into that type form or come through into that type from there is going to be dictated by how many people are there as an initial starting point from an organic perspective. So what we've basically done is the same as the other ones. So we've basically processed the overview discovery and then processed the deep discovery. The Fathom notes I'll post up on afterwards. And then based on all the stuff that we discussed, Mike, you'll have like a massive, you can have a massive to-do list anyway, but like even, so to put into perspective, that personal brand SS, I'm even mandatory making like people like Cal, Sarah, Mark, and people who have got good personal brands go through it as well because the market is going to be adjusting. So your biggest homework is 100% going to be that. And when you do go through that and we go over it, you'll fucking see what I see. So the top 10 problems that were basically processed then get put into a priority importance. So the single focus area. So I want to basically define what shit do we need to focus on right now and keep it centralized to that. Social media is taking too much energy, right? I'll show you some easy, simple stuff. So I might even just show a taste of the easy production there. I'm actually going to put that in green because I am like 110% sure I've solved that with the new social media personal branding update as well. So I'm going to walk you through basically, and you'll see this, but how I'd run my own content easily myself compared to when I was spending £10,000 a month on a media team, social media managers, videographers, and everything else. And my I've grown by like 1 million reach per month in 3 months since I started following that personal brand SS drive. So the pathway from interest to sale, we'll basically talk about that in a second. The MVPs are not being treated as the main priority, right? And then we've got basic kind of stuff, which I don't, you know, it's so funny, like the day-to-day timeline structure. So I've already created your little drive here. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is drop you in how I basically manage my one-to-one clients' timetables. Like I know this sounds daft, right? And people go, "Oh, fuck, it's so basic with a timetable." Every single if a founder or a CEO is in a position where they do not have a robust week-to-week structure where they look after themselves, where they have routine, where they are ticking major stuff off, then the entire business falls to shit. Like I run a timetable efficiency structure with every single one-to-one client I come in, and I would say 9 times out of 10 I will completely readjust their timeline and their structure because I'm like, this is fucked. This is not productive. Like you go either side, you have people who are completely burning themselves out, or people who are just going through paralysis by analysis by overthinking too much stuff. So we'll put like a rigid structure in for you after this today. So I'll be like, right, based on what we're discussing and based on where our core focus areas, this is how I want your week to look. And obviously you'll customize it based on like kids and responsibilities and all on that side. And then we've basically got bottleneck. Right? And that was almost like a little bit of a thing that was spoke about at the start, where it's like 1 minute I feel really, really good, and then 1 minute I feel really, really through the floor. There is never a point in a business where the founder is not a bottleneck. I am a fucking bottleneck. I'm always a bottleneck. Every investment and decision that I make moving forwards is to remove myself. But what you've basically got when you are in a bottleneck position is it the fact that you're bottlenecking because you're just trying to do too much shit at once? So I always use the law of three. So my GPT here has said single focus. Like, what's the North Star thing that we just need to focus on completely? And we're going to isolate that. But I always say you can easily manage 3 key priorities. So based on the key priorities that we basically put together, then that will almost slowly unfuck yourself when it comes to bottlenecking because you're not trying to do 10 things. We're just trying to do 3 things at once. But what you've got to take into account with Matt's position at the moment is it's a startup company. It needs cash flow in order to look at investing elsewhere. So when we're looking at bottlenecking, right, that's a big reason why I want to get a proper timetable in place. Because suddenly you might think I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm doing too much stuff. But then when you map out your days, you realize, oh wait, actually, I'm fucking managing this quite easily. And when you're focusing on the right things and the core focus areas, you're like, oh wait, this is actually quite easy. Like I always say, I will maximize my time and efficiency before even needing to hire. And the next thing I'll do is I'll go, how can AI do it for me so I don't need to hire? So you've got bottleneck. People always say you need to hire, you need to delegate. In my opinion, you don't. You need to be more fucking efficient. You need to enjoy what you're doing, focus on the right areas, and use AI. And why would you do that? Because you can keep shitloads more profits back in your business as well. And then down the line, it gets to a point where you might need support. Feedback data, right? We're going to be as part of the personal. Pretty much when I read through this earlier, I was like, it's funny because like 80% of this is solved in that drive alone. So in terms of the feedback data, we're going to be showing you basically performance tracking with the KPI tracker that I obviously use. So in terms, rather than making decisions based on emotions, we are going to be tracking KPIs every single week. And then inside that drive there as well, there's also step-by-step processes on how to actually review that data to improve it to the next week. But that's on module 7, because the first thing we need to talk about, which is going to be a big one today, is what actually is a personal brand. And then what else have we got down on here? Belief and confidence, right? Belief and confidence for me comes down to action. It comes down to messaging Ben Oxford and me telling you to get the fuck on with it. It comes down to having to speak. There's been many of those conversations where I go, stop fucking about Matt and let's get this MV done and let's get it out there. Let's stop overthinking, right? And sometimes it takes that. So I have those moments where I'm flapping a bit and I speak to one of my middle management team and I feel better. So in order to increase your belief and confidence, it's more communication, more collaboration. And like I said to all my clients, like if you message me on school every single day or message me on WhatsApp every single day, I would prefer that than you fucking ghost for 3 months and come back saying that you've not done anything, right? But most important, the belief and confidence will just simply improve based on action. So I've actually got like an example here, which I'll show you, which is on the levels of, this is how anal I've been about it, because people come at different points. So you've got levels of confidence. So every time that you basically go through a new level, you achieve a new devil, I always say. So level 1 is just post an image carousel. Then you've got a BTS text overlay. And eventually, because you've done those little tiny increments, you get to this shit down the line where you've got POV clips and a voiceover. But for me to turn around to Matt and be like, right, yeah, I want you to go away and film your day and do a voiceover on it, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, you dickhead? I know what I'd be like, yeah. But the thing is, once you work through these levels of confidence, you get to this point down the line and this shit becomes effortless, right? If we went back onto, like let's just say prior to Matt starting with me, the thought of him doing that, oh my god, it made him shit his pants. The thought of having an MVP, oh, it's scary. All what happens is the more action that you take, the more that you will compound and you'll stack confidence. So I know that that's going to be something that we can solve. There's no selling happening yet, but that's because you just don't have an MVP live yet and a product live, which we're going to talk about. And then the plan for what basically happens after it joins. And we can pretty much, you can do that with the AI that you've trained up anyway. So right to the top again. From your perspective, because I'm not giving you all these fucking answers, you've got to think yourself today, mate. You know, I like to challenge you. What's your top 3 key priorities from your perspective?
The social media side of it. So probably perfect timing with that new module you've got coming out is I feel like I've engaged well in terms of posting and stories, but I'm a bit all over the place. I even got a text yesterday from the people that did our branding, giving me a bit of a kicking, saying you're not using our templates, you're not following the plan. So I need to get that on point and get it looking a bit more professional, consistency, building out the grid and keeping it going, and learning how to manage that process a bit better from a time perspective, because time is a massive problem at the moment for me. So there's 2.
So 100%. So the reason I'm asking that question is because what I want to kind of look at is understanding the difference between what is more important between the founder-led personal brand page or the social media page that you have got templates for there, right? Yeah. So this one here, so if I went onto like the coach consultant page, it's just standard offer, pain, drive, but it all looks neat, it all looks good. So like inside of here, you've basically got like the difference between a company brand and a personal brand, which we're going to be going over later. But if I was going to be looking at what is my North Star focus, the thing that I need to fucking focus on more than anything, it's that shit right there.
Do you think I should run both of these accounts in? Because the one there, the Mac Dunham Wellness, is still live and it will be, but that's sort of linked to my clinic. where I'm an actual acupuncturist and so on.
Yeah, and that's the
The
point.
other,
Is your personal brand page is a documentation of what you do.
okay,
Doesn't matter what it is. So, and you'll. This is what we're going to go through with personal brand SS later. Your personal brand page and how you run content there is going to be based on who you are, your beliefs, your opinions, your perspectives, what you are doing on a day to day, your unique processes, your unique insights. Whereas the company page is just going to be pretty flat, straight. This is basically what we do. This is what we are about. So, if I was going to be looking at right, what's a priority out of those two, if you could start on a baseline KPI of 3 posts per week onto your company page, but you put all of your time and effort into that personal brand social media page there, you will without question get 10x the level of response. There is nothing that will come close to it. If you look at Tesla versus Elon Musk or Amazon versus Jeff Bezos, right? People always remember the founder. It's like the coach consultant. They don't join the coach consultant because of the logo and the type of content that's going on that page. They join the coach consultant because of what you said right at the call, where you literally watched a bit of my content and went, I line to what this guy's about.
mm,
And that is the epitome of what I'm spelling out inside of this drive here. And what I mean by that, look, AI can support us on. Like, I'm 99% sure I've got AI on lockdown on a level that no one really has elsewhere in the mentoring space, and I'm already got the updates that I'm going to be doing soon. But AI cannot replace this part, and that's you and your personal brand, and that's why it's going to be a huge USP. So when we're basically looking there, so we've got top priority for me is going to be that one. I'm going to put that as secondary, right? Now for you, when you kind of come in, we'll do that as 1.1. What would the next priority be for you in this situation?
time, can that be time management?
So I won't focus. Well, that's going to be a part of the process to support getting these done. But what are the objectives? So I always basically look at. I use the same analogy. If I was lost in the fucking Sahara Desert, I did not have a Scooby Doo where I was, what I was doing. What's the first thing that you look for?
Well, the North Star.
The North Star. So that's all we're trying to do is where's the North? So where's the North Star? So once we've isolated the North Star, you just focus all of your time and attention to get there. So what's going to enable you to achieve that North Star vision is going to be the founder-led personal brand. You've already got AI on fucking lockdown and you're mint with it because I've spoke to you about it and seen the stuff that you've produced from it. So that's obviously class. And then to support you getting to that North Star is going to be your timetable and your routine. Right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to design your timetable for you. You can adjust it afterwards. So, based on forward facing, what's your North Star?
Well, I need a following.
That's going to come. What's going to come from that one? What's an objective? Come on, I'm going to give it to you in a minute. If not, MVP launch. That's it.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking before that, but yeah, okay, you're right.
So, so the next thing that we need is going to be a. What's that doing that? MVP launch, right? The sooner that we're in a position where we've basically got an MVP launch for an offer like this, right, means that we can get audience feedback, right, and we can get active client feedback. Because if we're in a situation where we've got an MVP active client, you can directly show that, but you've also got the chance of obviously increasing confidence, increase in adjustments, increase in social proof, and increase in evidence. So when we're looking at these pages here, right, if we look at why does someone buy something, always go back to you know first principle thinking. Have you gone for that? So like you've got it because it's how your head. That's the whole concept of wellness is you're fixing the problem from the inside out. Yeah. So I'm big on like first principle thinking, which is pretty much the epitome of what Matt does. So from a first principle perspective, is like I always go right. If we want to make more money, right? Why is someone going to pay for something? What is the thing that's going to create that environment? So with the social media pages that you are creating, you've got number one, which is pain, right? Pain is going to get to a point of then creating action. So if we are not creating content, which is creating pulls of pain, if we are then not creating trust, right? So obviously it's going to be from your personal brand. And if we're not in a spot where we're going to create confidence, then people won't buy something. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got a right running nose. So we basically got confidence, and that's going to come from social proof.
Okay.
So like my main objective is that, right, how do I create as much pain as humanly possible through those two social media pages, right? Then what's missing. I need people to trust me. That's going to be a personal brand production on that page there. And then from that point is we're missing confidence. Right? But the one thing that I will say is, if you know, with your practice and acupuncture and all that type of stuff over the years, I'm guessing that you've worked with like a lot of clients and you've done different stuff. You've probably got some available social proof and evidence just in your background if you reached out to people.
Yeah, I've only been open a year, so it's
I was on a
but yeah, a lot of variety of people and different things that people come with. There's some Google reviews, not many, but there's some. And yeah, I probably could reach out and ask for like text or video feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. So straight away, I'd be looking at going, right. If we're in a spot, is like, right, we're not just trying to wait for new people coming in. I always use this story. So in the pandemic, I had a company called NutriFast. We closed it down because we got fucked over by the council and police knocking at door, tape on doors, all that bullshit we went through. And I ended up closing it down. We lost like 120 grand. And I was like, right, I need to get my shit back as fast as humanly possible because the previous I was coaching. So I needed to get my coaching business back on track as fast as possible. In a 12-week period after that, all I did is I posted old client results every other day onto Instagram and scaled to 20 grand a month in 3 months. I did not use a single new client result. All I did is I looked back and gone, what evidence have I got to back up everything that I am claiming? So like, if there's anything, this could be feedback of service. It could be like a session that you've done with someone. It could be that if there any type of evidence that you've got, that is going to be the biggest fucking element because it goes back to that first principle thinking. Like I always use, you've seen this analogy many times. If I stab myself in my hand, the first thing I'm going to do is pull my hand away. I'm going to get action to get out of that painful situation because it's going to hurt my fucking hand. Yeah. So if we're not creating pain, no one's going to take action. So we need to be like, right, we need to tick that box. And then at the moment, we're looking at that next thing is going, right, do people trust me? So then you start asking the question of going, well, do people trust me? Well, they don't really know me, do they? So then all you need to do from that point is just follow exactly what I'm going to be doing in personal brand SS. But even without even looking at that by asking that question, it's like, actually, people don't really know my opinions here. They don't really know my beliefs. They don't really know that. So if we can get to a point where we're like ticking that personal brand box as well, all we need after that is confidence. And that is going to be the trio that's going to enable someone to actually want to take action to work with us. All right? And then all we need there is, and then that's what I'm saying, North Star, North Star, North Star. Because if you're doing all of this, right, we need to have something that people can actually fucking buy or people can get into the system. So as soon as we've basically got that MVP and we've got this combined together, like I'm a big fan of like simplicity. Right? So simplicity is absolutely key for me. I'm not going to try and overcomplicate it. That is all I would be focusing my time and attention on. Okay. I'd be going personal brand like social media, getting my company page running as normal, getting my MVP launched. Sweet. Let's fuck about, find out, and let's see what's happening from there. You've got the obvious stuff after that, where you've got organic lead magnets, rotations. They've got introductions to new followers who are coming through to the page and building connections out. But as a baseline starting point, all I'm going to look for is how do I create that and how do I get something ready for people? And in the background, once you've got the active feedback from that, and the thing is, this needs to be sorted to get people into that in the first place. So you might run an MVP for a little bit longer than what you actually think. And then from there, you've basically got your full launch protocol. But the only way that we're going to get to a point of having a really powerful full launch protocol is if that shit is on lockdown and we've got direct feedback from that MVP launch. So that's literally all. That's all we're going to be doing.
So it might be worth thinking, because I think I said in my notes that maybe more of those MVPs would be a good idea. They take a lot of work, but obviously they then stand alone as a sale.
I would have it as a single. Just walk. This is actually a really good thing. Walk through your MVP. I'm just going to blank my nose because I've got a right call it now.
Yeah. So the current MVP is called a 7-day reset. So there's they'll be put onto Circle. So somebody will pay the money, sign up, sign into a circle, and then they'll be able to access day one, which will be an intro to what they're going to be doing. And then day by day, it will release information. So maybe we haven't set the schedule in terms of what happens what day, but maybe day two, you get an acupressure point. So you get a video demonstration, you get a handy quick reference card that when you feel like this, massage this point, and this is how to find it. Or day three might be a breathing sequence that when you feel like this, try this breathing sequence. And then it builds through to say examples of different pain points, like you mentioned. So somebody's at work, maybe about to go in a meeting or in a meeting, and these are things you can do, even in the meeting amongst other people, that nobody will know you're doing it. You're able to breathe in a different way. You can subtly massage your hand in a certain way. Things like this to support you. And that runs for 7 days.
I don't think you need to create so straight away. There's nothing that screams at me. Yeah, you need a different MVP. You just need to make that 7 days really, really fucking good, which I know that you will have done. So you run that MVP and just get people through into it, and then just see, because what you'll find is like some people might have liked one part of it but not liked another. So you can then, and all we're doing is we're getting that structure through. So, and obviously at the moment you've already seen that we've got like the register interest type form, simple application. Like sometimes people overcomplicate the shit out of this. We don't need that. We just need like type form or jot form or a Google form or whatever it is. And as we are starting to scale this out, then we can obviously kind of go from there. So what I'll be looking at next is like, right, if we've got a MVP launch, this needs to be, I always basically say that the difference between 365-day systems and launch systems. So for me on my KPIs, for example, if I went on to hit, mine's massive, but that's a 365-day system that starts and doesn't stop. Same for that, same for emails, same for that, same for ads. So like then I'll have different launch protocols. It's like, right, the live workshop. So this is basically the element of the KPIs that I want running for positive impressions on marketing. And then after that, you've got like, right, well, I've got a launch that's going to need a little bit more time and attention, because I think sometimes what people do is they have like a stop and start process, and you can't. So when that personal brand page starts, it doesn't stop. When that company page starts, it doesn't stop. Same for fucking emails, because you don't get better by stopping, you get better by doing. But then what I'll be looking at here is like, right, well, if we want to maximize the amount of people who go through that MVP, then actually, potentially, before that, by just asking a few more questions, we need to have an MVP marketing plan. So basically, how can we use this, but also have a timeline, have a strategy, core content points to get as much volume into that MVP as humanly possible. So it's like when we're looking at, right, if you're looking at it's 22nd of January now. 22nd of January, I'm climbing a mountain in Poland next week. Didn't even realise. I thought it was middle of January. If we've basically got these 3 areas, that's a month's worth of work straight away. You don't need to do anything else other than that. Genuinely didn't. I've been going, I need to put time and attention into all of those. I need to get a launch plan, and I need to get this fucking launched, right? And then you deal with it from that point. I had it the other day where there was someone on school who's got a huge social media following because they put loads of time and attention into content, but they were not getting any leads, not getting any sales, not getting anything. And I went onto his page and I said, well, can you show me one bit of evidence that you've got to do with the delivery of your offer? And he was like, what do you mean? I said, I'm scrolling down here. You've got quite a lot of tens of thousands of followers, but I can't see many results coming through. So I was like, right, well, we need to get people through the door, mate. I said, I want you to get 10 friends and families into this for free. So you've got the social proof element so you can pull that in. Because again, it doesn't matter how much trust you've got with your personal brand or content or pain. If people don't feel confident because they don't see that, they ain't going to take action. So straight away, he's then got 8 people on straight away. He then come back to me and said, do you know what? I've had this idea. I've got loads of people who do Gaelic football on my page. I said, do you think it'd be worth doing a program? So I said, well, just put it out to the market, put a sticker tap up, put a DM CTA, talk about it. I said, like, is anybody interested in like a program like this? Because I've had people ask me about it. 2 days later, he's come back straight away. Fucking hell, 8 to 10 people are already interested in that new program. Do you know what I mean? So all of this always stems from that compounding momentum of just taking action. because it's like, and it's like, look, he's got, and I said to him, I said, mate, you've not got a traffic problem, you've got a trust problem, and you've got a confidence problem. So we just need to focus on how do we get more trust and how do we get more confidence. So all we're gonna, and I will, so what I'm gonna do off the back of this call today, is gonna be, I'm gonna give you what date have you got in mind for that MVP?
16th of February.
Sunday, 16th February. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you how I'd structure the marketing campaign for that.
Okay.
You said, right, you send me your MVP. Have you got your MVP as no? I think you've sent that to me on School DM, to be fair.
It's changed, so I'll send it.
Oh, is it? Send it me again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to design, because remember, we're going to solve the reason that I was filming for fucking 11 hours straight yesterday. And oh my God, my bags. Oh, you won't see it now because it'll have gone, but Jesus Christ, I was in a bad way yesterday. The reason that I've built this is because I want to solve the personal branding problem for good. So you're going to see this at 1 p.m. if you can come to the call, or if not. So all of this shit here, I'm never more confident that with what I've just built on that new update, covers every single detail, mate. Like shaping your visual personal brand, your core messaging system, arrowheading your offer and your content, how to present your beliefs, how to run your content production system easily just with notes. Just with notes on your iPhone. Like that's going to be on lockdown. So I'm going to just put that into a green, right? Because as long as we do that, and then here I'm going to put that into an orange, because that's the next North Star thing. We just need to literally get to the point of maximizing that MVP launch. But that MVP launch the performance of it will be dictated by your 365-day social media systems, and that's why we're doing that.
Okay.
And then from that point, we're going to put this in blue because we ain't got a fucking clue how it's going to go. That's business,
Yep.
and it don't matter. It does not fucking matter, right? Because I say to people all the time, it does not matter. If it does not go anywhere near to plan as to what you had an expectation in your mind, what does it matter? What have you just learned? You just learned that, oh, fucking hell, I need to try a little bit harder on these launches. Oh, fucking hell, I need to try a different angle on that. Like, I have done launches, I've had businesses that I've flatlined before in the last 12 years. I don't give a fuck, I just get straight on with it. But what we're going to do is we're going to control as many variables as we can with that, and then we're just going to take that shit as it comes. But we're just going to take action and get shit out there and get going fast. On top of that, I'm gonna put that in grey because I just think it's a bit of you have got interest, you've got to register, you're gonna have a follow-up process, and everything on that side. I don't want to overcomplicate it with like setting up the back end pathways and all that there. This here is going to be treated as the main priority because that's just been isolated as our North Star vision. Your day-to-day structure, I'm going to put that in yellow because I'm going to give you an example of how I would structure your day. What time do you wake up in the morning? 7 a.m. Right. That down there, just so I can know when to start your day. So I give you a general structure of things that we're doing, then we're into a flow because it always comes back down to your personal system. Where's that .com? All right, back down onto here. So bottlenecking, I'm going to put that in green because I'm pretty sure that once you've got a timetable and once you've got North Star focus, I've seen it, mate. There's a lot of people out there who will not have even come close to doing what you've done in the period that you've been in this. They'll fuck about it, complain that stuff's not happened. Whereas you've got straight in, you've trained your fucking AI systems, you've built out your offer overview, you've built out all of your IP. So like speed and execution isn't something that concerns me. I think it's priorities and structure. So that's what we're going to give there.
Yeah. Okay.
Not getting data and feedback, right? So that again, I'm going to put that in green because that is the epitome of the performance tracking module, which I'm going to be giving you later on for personal brand. So that is just a case of doing it, and I'll be actually building that into your timeline. So it's like on a Monday morning, I don't do anything else other than completing KPIs.
Yeah, I am actually doing the social media KPI since the turn of the year.
It's perfect. So,
I haven't fed it into anything yet, but the last 3 weeks I've done it. Yeah.
and we've got orange there. Right. This is all we need to do, mate, for next month. It's that easy. It's that easy. There's not a swim lab. There's nothing else. I'll literally give you. This will extend out onto a tab here, so we'll have like the fab and fob follow-up notes there, which I'll process into a step-by-step thing to read through as well. But and then I'll provide you with everything that we need and on all of those elements. We get to that point there, and then guess what happens next? You're at the next level of shit eating, because that's all business is. And anyone who tells you that it's fucking, oh, suddenly you've got this and it's all sunshine and rainbows, no. Right? But and this is what I mean, is like it always comes back down to how do you feel in this process. It's a big part of personal media assess, where it's like, right, fuck social media off, fuck your audience off, fuck everything off. Are you actually enjoying what you are posting every single day? Because if you can't turn around and say yes to that, then it's broken at the first principle. You need to enjoy what you're creating when it comes to content. If you're doing this offer at the moment, like the amount of people who come to me and they hate the offers that they're running, I'm like, no wonder you're not earning much more money, because they're all just the bullshit surface level. Yeah, just get a cheap offer, slam cold DMs, hit cold top of funnel traffic, and it's like, get a grip of yourselves. Like, is this what business has turned into? Because when you're aligned onto an authentic personal brand content strategy and you're aligned onto a mission, like, this shit is fun. It's fun. It's painful, but fun.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. I'm happy working hard. I'm happy pushing through all that stuff. It's the clear direction that I'm struggling with. So this is really helpful.
And then we need to get your son in the right spot so he can retire you as well early does. So Matt's got his son on the course as well, so I had a call with Black Friday offer. But yeah, we need to get this running, get him set up, and then be like, right, sweet. By the time I'm 60, I'm retiring, and you're running all of this for me. So we need to get him rocket up his ass.
That has been mentioned then. Yeah.
To be fair, mate, once we've got this recording, it'd be good for him to watch it, because there's loads of shit here which is so applicable to him as well. Loads based on that call I had with him. He just needs to actually have his programs and offer and system set up.
Yeah.
Right, brother, leave this with me. Get ready for personal brand SS, and let's just focus on North Star, getting shit done, action, rock and roll.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Right, brother. Catch you soon. Yeah.
Cheers.
Nice one, man.